You know, a lot of people hear the phrase free camping and they think, well, that sounds pretty great. And it is. I mean, there's something pretty amazing about pulling into a beautiful spot, putting the jacks down, opening the door, and knowing you didn't just hand a campground $60, $70, or $100 for the night. But here's the thing. If you're in a big RV and you want to stay off grid for more than a night or two, free camping isn't really free. The campsite might be free, but the lifestyle isn't. You still have to consider the cost of power, water, sewer, propane, and internet. So in this video, I want to show you what it actually costs us. We've tracked the last 181 days. Out of that, we spent 102 nights in free boondocking spots. And if you count the full retail value of the gear that makes this camping possible for us, our current setup would be $12,596. So the question isn't, can you camp for free? The better question is, how long does it take before that investment pays for itself? And honestly, the answer is complicated. If you're new here, I'm Barry from Like There's No Tomorrow. My wife Darlene and I have been full-time RVers for 5 years now. We don't have a home base. This is how we live. And a lot of that time, especially over the last 6 months, has been spent boondocking in our 40-foot fifth wheel. And it's not our first time doing this. We love boondocking. Much of our 5-year full-time journey has been spent off-grid. Now, just to be clear, when I say boondocking, we're not talking about spending one night in a Cracker Barrel parking lot or a Harvest Host location. And we're not talking about a quick weekend trip where you run the generator the whole time. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's how you camp, that's totally fine. But that's not what this video is about. What I'm talking about is staying somewhere for 10 to 14 days at a time, usually whatever the maximum time is, in a big fifth wheel, while still trying to live a normal life. And by normal life, I mean plenty of electricity, fresh water, dealing with our black and gray tanks, and having good, solid internet. We still have to cook, we gotta work, edit videos, run heat when it's cold, and all the other everyday stuff. And we really don't want to run the generator if we can avoid it. We see the generator as a way to top off our batteries when we have too many cloudy days and we're just not getting enough solar. Now, we do run the generator when we need to run air conditioning. We don't run AC off solar. It just drains our batteries too quickly. We'd rather stay in cool, low humidity places and open our windows. So far, we've been doing that for years and it's worked out great. So BLUETTI is the sponsor of this video, and I just want to show you our RV5 setup. I want to show you up close what this is all about. So as you can see, this is just one large unit where the inverter and the solar charge controller and everything is combined. So it makes it way more simple to install than a traditional Victron system where you have to buy everything separately. This is all included in one unit. Now this is a 5,000 watt inverter, which is a pretty large inverter. Now you might be wondering about our batteries. We have those back behind this panel. We have 3 very large 48 volt batteries that run this thing, okay? One other cool feature that this RV5 has that we don't actually use it, but you certainly could, would be it has a DC to DC charger built in, which means if you're driving down the road, you can actually use your alternator and you can harness that power by plugging into one of the solar charge controller sides on this particular unit. A lot of systems you have to buy that separately, so that's also a really cool feature with the RV5. We have 2 800 watt solar arrays on the roof. As long as we have good sun, we're able to keep those batteries charged up and we can pretty much live indefinitely off grid. And a lot of times we just forget about this. It's just running there quietly. It works great. We haven't had any complaints with this at all. In fact, one of our most recent stays, we boondocked in Stanley, Idaho for a few weeks, and we never ran our generator once, and we had never had to think about electricity, and we just lived our life as normal. It was awesome. Here inside the RV, I have the E-pad, which is connected to the system. Now, the cool thing about the system is that everything is attached. You've got the RV5, which is wired into the battery, so all the data is always gathered. It knows exactly what's going on with the system at all times, and I can monitor with this. As you can see, we're 100% charged right here. We're bringing in almost 1,000 watts from the solar, and we're using around 725 watts right there. We also have a phone app that's very convenient. Now, I've done a couple videos on the RV5, which I go very in depth. You can see those right here. The thing I love about the RV5 the most is that I was actually able to install it, which is something I really didn't feel comfortable doing with a big Victron system. This is much easier. So if you're trying to save money on installation, definitely look into the RV5. It's a great system, and even better, you can get 5% off by scanning the code on screen or clicking on the link down below. So thanks to BLUETTI for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the video. So in the last 6 months alone, we spent 102 nights camping in totally free spots. That's the number I want you to keep in mind, because that's where this whole video is going. The question is, did 102 free nights actually pay for the setup? We'll get there, but first, a quick thing. If this kind of real-world RV cost breakdown is helpful, please give a video a like and subscribe to the channel. I know everyone says that, but it really does help us reach more people who are trying to figure this stuff out before they spend a bunch of money. And if boondocking is something you want to get better at, go to our website at likethere'snotomorrow.net and join our email list. We're working on a Boondocking for Big Rigs course because there's just a lot that goes into this stuff. We'll be covering more than just power, water, and all that stuff. We'll talk about finding spots, knowing what roads you should not drag your big fifth wheel down, all of it. Way more than we can cover in a single YouTube video. Plus, as part of the course, we'll make ourselves available to answer your questions directly. So if that's something you're interested in, join the list. Okay, so let's get into the numbers. What do you actually need to buy to be able to live off-grid indefinitely in a larger rig? For us, comfortable boondocking means we need enough solar and battery capacity to run our daily life. We need a generator for backup, a way to haul a good amount of fresh water, a way to deal with waste tanks. We need propane, and because we work from the road, good reliable internet isn't optional for us. And this stuff costs money, and frankly, some of it costs a lot of money. So that's why the skeptic in me has to call out people that go on about free camping like it's just $0. The patch of dirt you camp on can be $0, but the setup that lets you stay out there comfortably definitely isn't. So let's take a look at what we spent on this stuff. Our first serious off-grid setup was in our previous rig, which was a 44-foot toy hauler. That system had 1,550 watts of solar on the roof and 4 12-volt 200 amp-hour lithium batteries. That worked out to about 10.24 kilowatt hours of total battery storage. Those batteries, as well as the Victron components and the solar panels, added up to about $9,000. And professional installation was another $5,000. So that first setup was 14 grand. And that's just for electricity. That doesn't include the water and sewer stuff, which I'll get to in a minute. Now, I'm not saying everybody needs a $14,000 system. You don't. There are people who boondock with way less than that, and they do just fine. In fact, there are much more affordable systems available now that really weren't an option back in 2023 when I had my first system installed. I'm pointing this out because this is one of those concepts where the free camping claim gets a little misleading. If you're trying to camp off grid in a way that still feels comfortable, there's a real upfront cost. Now let's look at our current setup. We sold our toy hauler with all the solar stuff included about a year ago, and we got a 2026 Alliance Paradigm fifth wheel instead. Now, I want to be very clear about this part. Full disclosure, BLUETTI is a sponsor of this channel. They gave us the RV5 system, 3 big 48-volt batteries, and 1 portable solar panel for free. If you were to pay retail for all the BLUETTI gear, it would cost you $7,765. I bought 8 200-watt Renogy solar panels from Amazon and paid for them myself. Plus, I bought all the mounting hardware, wiring, and electrical stuff to install it, and that added up to about $3,117. I installed it all myself, and it took me about a week by the time it was all said and done. So that covers the solar power. Now, like I mentioned earlier, we also have a Cummins portable generator that cost around $1,200. A generator isn't optional. You definitely need one, at the very least, as a backup power source. Now, you don't necessarily need one as large as what we have. We used to have a smaller Champion generator that worked okay too. But there's also all the stuff we need to deal with fresh water and sewer, like a macerator pump, a freshwater pump, extra hoses, a large freshwater bladder, and a large bladder we use for black and gray water. So if you add the generator and all the water, sewer, and fuel accessories, that comes out to about $1,714. So if you add up everything, including the BLUETTI retail value, it comes out to $12,596. So we've discussed the upfront cost of all the various gear you need to boondock for longer periods. But there are also ongoing costs to consider. For this 6-month period, propane averaged $107 per month. Dump and water averaged $31 per month. Starlink was $175 a month, and T-Mobile was $83 a month. So if we count all of that as part of the boondocking lifestyle, our monthly cost was $396. Now, I know not everybody is going to count that the same way, and that's fair. If you already pay for internet no matter where you camp, you may say, well, I don't want to count Starlink and T-Mobile as a boondocking cost. I get that. If we exclude internet, the recurring cost drops to $138 a month. Now, the one thing I'm not including is gas for the generator. We barely used a generator, so I don't have reliable numbers of what I paid for the gas. It wasn't much. But depending on your setup, you can end up spending way more on gas for your generator if you don't have a big battery bank. And for those of you who are wondering, our generator is dual fuel, so we could use propane if we wanted, but what I found is that propane is a little trickier to find depending on where you're camping. Plus, propane doesn't produce as much power as gas does. Gas is readily available just about anywhere and produces more power. My only suggestion would be to only use non-ethanol gas in a generator, otherwise it could gum up your carburetor. Okay, here's what the 6 months actually look like. We tracked 175 camping nights in our RV. We spent 50 nights in paid RV parks at an average of $61 per night. That came to $3,050. We had 23 of what I call hybrid nights, where we dry camped or had limited hookups at an Elks Lodge or a Harvest Host or something at about $25 a night. So that was around $575. And then we had 102 free boondocking nights. So our actual site fees for the whole 175 night period were $3,625. Now, let's just say we weren't boondockers, and instead we paid for full hookup campgrounds every night. At $61 per night, on average, that would have cost us $10,675. So we saved $7,050. And this is where it would be really easy to say, hey, we saved $7,000, and we did, kind of. But that's not the whole picture. If you're watching and you're wondering what you just need to invest to do this and how long it takes to pay it off, here's the bottom line. Yeah, we saved $7,000 in the last 6 months on campground fees, but that's before accounting for the recurring costs we just talked about. So if we use the full attribution version, our net savings were closer to $4,674. And at full retail, we would have paid $12,596 for all this stuff. So from that angle, we're still about $7,900 in the hole. It's okay, I'm not mad about it. I didn't expect to pay it off. I'm just sharing real numbers with you so you get a real idea of what this stuff costs. When I was researching all this stuff a few years ago, this is definitely the kind of real world info I was looking for, so here it is. I hope this helps someone who's asking the same questions. If so, please give us a like. So at this rate, it would take about 274 free boondocking nights to break even. And that's about what I expected, because we've actually already been down this road. In our second year of full-time RVing, we had just installed our first solar setup on our other RV, and my wife Darlene suddenly got laid off. So in order to save money, we boondocked almost the entire year. Check out that video if you want to see how much money we saved that year. We definitely saved a lot of money. In fact, it was enough to pay off the entire $14,000 we spent on that rig. So, does boondocking save money? It can. It absolutely can. But it may not save money as fast as you'd hope if you're starting from zero and buying all the gear. So this is where I want to be really careful. Don't copy our setup just because it's our setup. In fact, we recently did a whole video on the BLUETTI Apex 300, and that's another example of a high-powered setup that can make sense for the right person. There's lots of options now, and that's a good thing. Competition has brought prices down, batteries have gotten better, and there are more ways to build a system than there were when we started in 2022. There's no one right answer. It depends on your rig, your budget, your comfort level, and how you actually camp. Before you buy anything, start with what you actually need to run. How long do you want to stay out? How much installation work are you comfortable doing? Do you need reliable internet for work? Are you camping in heat, in cold, or in mild weather? A smaller RV, shorter stays, or lower power needs can make a much cheaper setup work. But if your goal is similar to ours, big rig, longer stays, real internet, and not relying on the generator every day, then the upfront cost of the gear is just part of it. So is free camping actually free? No. The campsite can be free, but the lifestyle has costs. For someone starting from zero and paying full retail, it may take a couple of heavy boondocking seasons to pay it off. That's not bad news, it's just reality. But I think it's better to know that going in. Because I can honestly say that even knowing the upfront cost, we wouldn't RV any other way. When we got our new RV last year, I went to work on the solar setup immediately. Not just because I wanted to start saving money on campground fees, but because we don't like to being forced to only stay at campgrounds. We absolutely prefer to boondock. Some of our favorite places from our entire 5-year full-time journey have been free off-grid campsites. Places where you wake up and there's nobody right next to you, where you look out the window and the view is the reason you bought the RV in the first place. Where the mornings are quiet and you just drinking your coffee and the only thing you hear are the birds and maybe the wind. That part is hard to put into a spreadsheet. So, yes, count the cost, learn your power system, your water limits, and your tanks. Learn how to find free spots where you can safely fit your rig. Because if you dream of waking up to mountain views, having plenty of space all to yourself, and feeling like your RV is actually taking you somewhere you never would have seen from a normal campground, then I think it's worth learning how to do this stuff and doing it well. If this helps you think through boondocking a little more clearly, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and go to likethere'snotomorrow.net to join our email list. That's where we'll share more as we build out the Boondocking for Big Rigs course. And I'd love to know in the comments, if you boondock, what was the cost that most surprised you? Or if you're still planning for it, what parts feels the most confusing right now? That's all for now. We'll see you in the next one.